The short story I'll be reading is called The Lucky Purse. It is from the book The Magic Drum and Other Favorite Stories. The author is Sudhamurthy. Mallika was the daughter of a rich widow. She was very beautiful and kind. When she got engaged to be married to the son of a rich landlord, her mother started making all sorts of preparations. She bought beautiful saris, lovely jewelry, and all kinds of gifts for Mallika and her in-laws. Mallika wanted to put some of these gifts in a silk bag to take with her. So her faithful old servant Veda was sent to the market to buy one. Veda returned with a bag, but Mallika did not like the design. So she sent Veda back to the shop to change it. Now there was only one bag left, and even though it had a peculiar design and a very odd shape, Veda brought it back home. Of course, Mallika did not like it one bit. However, she had no choice but to use it. Soon, Mallika got married, and it was time for her to leave for her new house. It was in the next village, and her mother packed lots of foods for the journey. She put it all in the odd-shaped silk bag. As Mallika was saying her goodbyes, her mother whispered in her ear, "I have put lots of fruits, coconuts, flowers, and some other gifts in the silk bag. Keep it carefully." She also said something else, but Mallika's friends set up such a wailing then over their departing friend that she could not hear her mother's last few words. There was a terrible thunderstorm that night, and Mallika and the other people accompanying her had to stop to take shelter in an old abandoned temple. There, as Mallika stood gazing out at the rain, she heard the sounds of someone crying. She looked around and saw a girl about her age, also dressed like a newly married bride, sitting and crying on the temple floor. Kind-hearted Mallika went up to her and asked what the matter was. Sobbing, the girl told her that she was an orphan. She had been married off by her uncle, who had looked after her all these years. But he was too poor and had not been able to give her any gifts to her new family. Now she was worried about what her in-laws would have to say. Mallika felt sad, and when she heard the story, her eyes fell on the peculiar silk bag her mother had given her. It was full of fruits and flowers. Mallika picked it up and gave it to the girl. By then the storm had died down, and the two brides went their different ways. Mallika soon got accustomed in a new house. She had a son and was happy with her husband, who loved her dearly. 10 years went by, till one day disaster struck. There was a severe earthquake. Mallika was outside inspecting the field, so she was unhurt, but her husband and son could not be found anywhere. Almost mad with grief, Mallika started wandering in search of them. Her beautiful house was nothing but a pile of bricks now. Her wealth was gone. Her whole life had been destroyed all of a sudden. She went from village to village. There were many people like her, homeless and hungry, walking about. Then she heard that in the next town there was a wealthy couple who had built rooms to shelter people like her and also gave them food. She decided to go there. When she reached the place, she saw there was a long queue of people waiting for food, not having eaten a morsel for days. She joined them. Many more people joined the queue behind her, but as soon as the man distributing the food gave her her portion, he announced that the food was finished for the day. The people behind her had to go away empty-handed. Just as Mallika was about to start eating, she noticed a tired old woman sitting by the roadside watching her. The woman had obviously not eaten in many days. Without thinking twice, Mallika gave her portion to the woman. The man distributing the food saw this. That night, when he was telling the woman who had donated the food about the events of the day, he mentioned Mallika and her generosity. The woman saw the money was touched. "Bring her to me," she said. "My little son needs someone to look after him, and I want someone who is honest and kind-hearted." So, Mallika started living with the couple. She loved the boy like her own. Indeed, he was exactly her son's age, and she would often think of her past life and lost family and shed tears. Saudamani would console her, and soon the two women became friends. Malika was allowed to take the child to any part of the house except for the prayer room that was always kept locked, and only Saudamani and her husband went in there to offer their prayers. When Malika asked Saudamani, she said, "Don't bring the child there. We have kept something very precious to us in the room and we don't want him spoiling it." One day, when Malika and the boy were playing ball, the child threw the ball hard and it sailed through a window and landed in the prayer room. The boy started crying. He wanted the ball right then. Malika tried her best to make him understand, but he would not listen. Unable to bear his crying, Malika decided to get the ball, even if it meant disobeying her mistress. She entered the room and was surprised to see that instead of a deity, the only thing in the room was a peculiar silk bag. She recognized it and immediately as the one she had given orphan girl the night she had left for her new home. Old memories rushed up. She started crying. Just then, Saudamani entered the room and was furious to see Malika there. "Why did you touch that purse? I told you never to come in here," shouted Saudamani. "This is my purse," Malika answered in tears. "I had given it to an orphan girl one night when I was on my way to meet my in-laws' house for the first time." "When did you get married?" Saudamani asked, her anger dying down. 10 years ago in the month of Shravan." Hearing this, Saudamani too burst into tears. She came and hugged Malika. "I was that girl. Perhaps you did not know when you gave the purse to me, but along with the fruit, it also contained several diamonds and coins. I opened the bag only after I reached home. We tried to find you so we could tell you, but we did not know your name. We became rich with your gift, but we never forgot how you helped a poor orphan girl in time of need. We kept the bag in the prayer room and used it to remind us every day of your generosity and kindness. That is why we decided to help others when we were no longer poor. Whatever we have today is also yours." Malika and Saudamani became even better friends after this. They sent out people to look for Malika's family, and one day, to her great joy, she was reunited with her lost son and husband. Thank you.